Alright, so we are going to be playing the Samson option, I think, tonight, guys. This is an alternate scenario based during the Yom Kippur War, um, where basically during the first days of the Yom Kippur War, the initial surprise breakthrough at the both northern and southern borders was by the combined Arab armies. Israel's military was in near panic, and the Prime Minister basically orders the arming of nuclear weapons, and that's where this scenario essentially takes place. Sorry guys, I think my mic is about as high as I'm going to get it to go tonight. Not what I wanted. This is what I get for having a USB. So we'll do. All right, I think we're all set to go here. So welcome, Paul. Sorry about the little bit of a delay there, as I know it's pretty late for you. Appreciate you staying up for this. So the strategic situation is dire. After the lightning strikes by Egyptian forces across the Suez, the Bar-Lev line has been breached. Egyptian forces have now retaken most of the Sinai near pre-1967 borders. With Al-Arish cut off, the Egyptians' 1st and 3rd armies are now within striking distance of our borders. On the Syrian front, the Golan Heights have fallen with heavy loss of manpower and equipment. Prime Minister Golda Meir has asked the USA for material support, specifically in aircraft, electronic equipment, and guided weapons, but no positive answer has been given yet. It seems increasingly unlikely that it will. We are on our own. The era of the Third Temple is coming to an end. The Samson option is now our only recourse. So, once nuclear release is granted, nuclear-capable units will strike the following targets: Damascus City, Cairo City. Remaining non-nuclear strike aircraft are to punch a hole through Egyptian and Syrian air defenses to give the nuclear-capable F-4 Phantoms a clear run to targets. 119 Squadron is the only unit capable of delivery 8 aircraft. Remainder of Squadron will provide escort. Jericho 1 missiles are to be used against Egyptian and Syrian air bases once authorization is given. 101, 105, and 113 Squadrons are to provide air umbrella, and 69, 201, and 217 squadrons to provide further escort. So our list of units. All right. Okay, what do we got here? So Paul, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, yeah.
So the Samson option here. So was this actually a something that was considered, or is this just a pure hypothetical?
This was considered if the Egyptian Syrian forces basically overrun Israeli borders. The last resort was basically flipping the nukes. Basically, if we're going to go down, you're going to go down as well. It's quite well documented. You got to hunt around the internet, and you'll find it on Wiki and places like that. It's one of their options.
All right, so we are going to go ahead and start getting everything airborne here. We don't have authorization as far as I can tell here at the start, but we are going to at least get our... So I think this is the second DLC you've done now. I believe you did
Yes.
Northern Inferno as well. Is there
Yeah, the Northern Inferno.
Is there anything from on the scenario design perspective that you learned doing Northern Inferno that you applied to Shifting Sands?
Oh yeah, basically getting your events right, make sure things trigger at the right time, and doing a lot of research, which always helps. 99% of scenario building is research, literally. I'm stickler for detail for aircraft squadrons in particular time periods and things like that. So just a lot of research really, and you learn by your mistakes like anything. No one's perfect on scenarios. We've all got our own opinions on how we do things. So yeah.
All right, just launching everything here. Pretty much launching everything that's not my nuclear aircraft or aircraft I'm going to use for strikes. I'm looking. I think we are supposed to have missiles. Let's turn on.
Yeah, you should have a. You've got a Jericho base.
Bunkers. Oh, there they are. So are they meant to? So they're on an allied side. So are they automatically assigned to a mission then, or?
Yeah, they will be automatically assigned to a mission for their own targets, which will be the base of the capital cities of Syria and Egypt.
Okay.
So
do you have a favorite scenario in the Shifting Sands pack, or?
Favorite one I would say is the 5th Escardia. We're playing from the Russians taking on the American task groups in the Mediterranean. Because everyone plays the American side and carrier battle groups, thought play the Russian side, the underdog. And the first 5 minutes is quite messy. Well, when the action starts, the 5 minutes is quite messy. So, a lot of missiles, torpedoes, and guns flying around.
Yeah, I noticed nobody seems to have done like Dance of the Vampires from the Soviet side either.
No, I haven't seen that one at all. I mean, the best tactic on Fist of Skadi is get your Russian cruiser and destroyer groups into basic gun range. When the authorizations comes through, just let rip with everything you got, take out the carriers at point blank range. Therefore, basically take out the flight decks of the carriers. Then hope for the best afterwards. Yeah.
So you want to tell us about, I think you've been with Warfaresims from the start, or did you come in later?
From 2003, 2004. Started doing Harpoon, then went over to Red Pill with the guys, and led through to Commander Warfaresims. So it's been a good 14 years.
I just want to say, I think I like a Red Pill as a name. I mean, Command's not bad, but
well, we get the name. We asked people what would you like the name, like a vote. What would you want this new game to be called? It came out as Command Air Naval Operations.
Nope. I remember the vote very, very well, and I lost.
Yeah. Yeah, we had a vote last year as a country vote for naming a new survey ship for the Merchant Navy, and the highest name was Boaty McBoat.
I think I saw that.
Yeah, so what they did, they named an ROV on the that ship as Boaty McBoat.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm honestly surprised that that's actually, as far as names on the internet are concerned, I'm actually surprised that one's actually not too bad. Based off of other names that the internet could have come up with.
Oh god, yeah, there could be some weird ones. Yeah.
Weird or just outright just offensive?
There can be a few ones got a censor and a few bleeps in them as well. So.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So why exactly basically the Israel-Arab wars? I know there's a couple others that aren't in there, like the Red Sea rumble scenario, but was there any particular reason? Did you have an interest in this time period, or?
Yeah, I've been reading up on it for quite a long time. I had about 2 or 3 DLCs in production at the same time. I thought, I'll go for the Arab-Israeli war one because that's not really been covered by Command as such. So there's a lot of the Six-Day War, War of Attrition, and the Yom Kippur War. And there is quite a bit of land combat as well. So, well, land combat, you got some firefights against the Syrian and Israeli armies on the Golan Heights and things like that. So, it does get quite fun. It's well, the Middle East is quite a cauldron still. It was then as well. So, a lot of factions, a lot of religious beliefs and politics. So, it's a good area to do combat in. So.
Just getting there. So
Yep.
I'm assuming that in this scenario here, I will actually get the authorization. I don't have just authorization outright to.
You'll get the authorization.
Okay.
It should pop. It should pop in. If I remember top of my head.
I know when I was playing Red Sea Rumble on the stream last, I believe it was last Tuesday, I might
Yeah.
have open fired on the Egyptian Navy before I was fired upon.
Yeah. They fire first, and you can fire back. But it happens. So get the first shot in.
Although I have to say I do like that the ships seem to be in randomized positions at the start of that one.
Yeah.
The first couple times I played it, they started kind of between my two groups, and they still managed to ambush me on
Yeah.
Sunday,
That's the.
but I did manage to at least save my RFA. My two destroyers with it got destroyed, but
Yeah. If you know where they are, you can work around it. But if you go all the way to the end of the Red Sea with the Suez Canal, there's some gun batteries there as well. So if you got that far, you're going to get taken out by gun batteries as well.
oh, I think I didn't even notice those. I think I took out pretty much by the time I was done. I pretty much had swept all their destroyers and frigates out of the and motor torpedo boats.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I don't think I ever ran into the gun batteries.
Uh, yeah, they're at the end of the canal, so they'll get you. Yeah, you should get a trigger message coming up anyway to let you know when you can start flipping.
Yeah, I have to say, like, none of these scenarios, at least that I've played so far, have really seemed like they're really a cakewalk. You know, all these scenarios have definitely had their challenge to them.
Yeah. Yeah, the USS Liberty one's pretty good as well.
I don't think I've played that one yet.
It's a bit. It took me a while to do that one. I had to find the. You can Google all the transcripts from the signals sent between the ships. So I based all the triggers on the signals to tie in with stuff.
I know a little bit about the Liberty raid, but you know, I don't know really too much about it, to be honest.
Right. It was basically the Liberty was off the Egyptian coast, and she was basically eavesdropping on the Israelis what they're going to do on the Golan Heights, which the Israelis didn't really like. So they sent a couple of unmarked Mirages out to try and sink it. Unofficially, it was a mistaken identity. Well, officially, it was mistaken identity. But if you believe that, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's actually. I mean, I know that was pretty much as far as I've heard was really kind of the low point between relations.
Yeah.
Between the two.
Right, you should get a launch message at 0650.
All right. We're just gonna speed it up then.
Yeah. So I've got mine open.
I would say it's a little weird not being kind of not having the advantage. I would say like you would have in most modern scenarios. You know, missile ranges are definitely not the 75 75 to 150 nautical miles you get on modern aircraft, and SAM systems that would you typically wouldn't really consider a threat, like the SA2.
Yeah.
Now is actually top of the line hardware.
Oh yeah.
And I'm really not sure I like not having any aerial targets. All right, so got... What do I want feel like going after? So those are the air bases. I think I actually gonna send my... A4s here after a couple SAM sites with their Mark 82s.
Yep.
Probably jumping the gun in typical fashion, but I just barely squeaked out a win in downtown in Damascus last week.
Yeah, that's a hard one.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. I ended up losing quite a bit, but I did take out one of the primary and one of the secondary targets. So
Yeah, that's good. I think on the actual raid, the Israelis didn't lose any aircraft, just a few shot up, and that was all. Caught the Syrian defences napping.
So instead of obviously they didn't go decided not to go with the Samson option. So
Yep.
what did they actually do instead?
Well, what happened was basically they got resupplied by the Americans. They flew them over spare A4s, F4s, Shrike missiles, everything. What they were doing, the Americans were basically tanking over aircraft from America to Europe, then over to Israel, or they were basically taking spare aircraft off the carriers in the Mediterranean and flying them straight to Israel. The Israelis then slapped some paint on them and put Israeli markings on there, and then basically fly the aircraft off within a few hours.
I would say they'd almost have to. Yeah, I'd be surprised if obviously they had to put a coat of paint on it to at least replace the USAF markings. I'm sure that wouldn't go over well.
Yeah, I mean the ones I got from America had the Vietnam era camouflage on still as well. So literally, I can't remember what the exercise was called, Nickelback or something. Operation Nickelback, I think it was.
Operation Nickelback.
I think it was. Top of my head. Resupply of Israel during the Yom Kippur War.
So where did you for the research for these scenarios did you read on these or?
I got a lot of books. Excuse me. I like reading books instead of going through the internet half the time. So I've got a lot of books from old bookstores, second-hand shops, if not googling the internet and just basically tying everything together for a lot of these scenarios because it's quite hard to find information on the actual combat out there and where the radar sites are, SAM sites and things. So it's just educated guesswork using the intelligence you got. But yeah, it's a lot of research.
You mean you didn't actually hand place every single SAM battery?
Basically, I was using I get the information and then make the import export files and just drop them in. But then they're changing all the time because especially the mobile batteries for the SA6s, they're mobile as well. So there's in the general area of the Golan Heights or on the east or west bank and things like that. But normally the SAN 2 sites are pretty static. They're the main SANs out there and SAN 3s.
All right, let's get my strikes heading in. Doesn't seem like they're being too offensive in this, so
Yeah.
that's likely to change.
It will do.
All right, so took out one SAM battery. These A4s are going to head home. Only one is left of this group, and he's just flying around in circles. So I'm gonna order him back to base. He's out of bombs anyway.
Yep.
Have this group go and turn off automatic evasion. Alright, so we've taken out a couple of SAM batteries. Whether that's going to help us or hurt us in the long run, I don't quite know. So, did you end up using more Lua script in Shifting Sands, or was that I noticed? I think Northern Inferno came out about the time it was Lua was introduced, or right after. I can't quite remember.
Yeah, Northern Inferno came out just before Lua. There is some Lua scripting in this as well, in the Shifting Sands, but not as much as some other people do. So there is some in there. And I like using the event editor with triggers and things as well, and times and that. So that's a pretty good tool as well. So. And my Lewis scripting isn't all that great either, so.
Glad I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
My tendency seems to be that my ambition with Lua is to outpace my actual ability with Lua.
Yeah, it was just put the wrong exclamation mark there or something, and it just doesn't work, and you wonder why. And it's yeah. The Lua's good though.
Or you miss a comma, or you miss a a quotation.
Yeah, then you scratching your head, and it's somewhat pathetic. It's somewhat minor, which is major.
Yeah, it seems I always end up missing at least one script somewhere. I'll have
Yeah,
a misspelt word that breaks my entire script or something like that.
yeah.
So if I recall, you're the Warfaresims Cold War database expert.
Yeah, Cold War database from 46 up to 79. Excuse me. Yeah, which is it's a good database. There's a lot of information I'm still finding on other platforms. I'm putting in and getting loads of requests as well.
Is it hard to find like technical data for that
It
or?
it can be on some of the older radar systems and things and weapon systems, but just a matter of hunting around. You're going to find it somewhere. I mean, a lot of the aircraft stats you're getting are in feet and inches, so you've got to convert to metric and things, and when you're building the platforms and the weights and things. So, I've got good conversion tools anyway, so it's not a problem.
All right, so we are going to send in our arm-equipped A4s. See how these guys Oh, I did have a question that is a relay from Dr. Zayas of
Yeah,
Stoic Frog Gaming.
yeah.
He did want to know where the name Sirius came from. He seems to think you're a very serious person.
Oh no, I was on I was on a Navy ship from 87 to 90 called HMS Sirius. And its pent number is F40, so I'm either Sirius F40 or Sirius on some forums. She's an old Leander class frigate.
I see.
An old one.
I will relay that to him. I believe he's actually he's off streaming something himself tonight. So
Is he okay?
all right, we should have launches here. Moose Red would like to know what your occupation is.
Retired now. Left the military last year after 34, 35 years. And all I do now is command, and I've got 5 years in the reserves I do, so I do me reserve time. And also a house husband as well. Wife's a nurse, and I look after my daughter who's 8 years old going on 18. So I'm busy that way as well.
Moose Red, I believe meant what your occupational specialty was. Sorry.
Oh, Roger. Radar and weapon systems. The American version used to work in CIC as a SWC, Surface Warfare Officer.
So given I don't know if you can. Oh crap! I have not been paying attention, and things have been happening. We have incoming vampires. Uh-oh, this is what happens when you don't pay attention, folks. Oh, this is going to be bad.